Hello and thanks for watching Best Maths Tutors. I'm continuing to go through the Edexcel Foundation tier paper from 2019 and we're on question 10 currently. We'll continue to go through all the questions on this paper, so hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of these. So currently this is a question about algebra and we've got t plus t plus t equals 12, and what we've got to do is work out the value of t. So the easiest way to look at this is to, first of all, let's try and add up the left-hand side. So if we've got a 1t plus another t plus another t, then actually that means we've got 3t. That means 3 times t, so 3 lots of t, and that's equal to 12. And then we need to get the t on its own. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite to multiplying by 3 in order to get rid of this 3 that's by the t. And to do that, we can divide, because the opposite to times is to divide. So we do the opposite there, we divide by 3, and I can show that as a division sign. That means 3t divided by 3. And because I've done it to that side, I've actually got to do it to the other side as well. So that 3 is going to disappear there, because that cancels. Multiplying by 3 and dividing by 3 cancel. And so we're left with just t on the left-hand side, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's our answer for the 10 part A. Again, we've got another equation for part B. We've got x minus 2 is equal to 6. And we're going to do this same process where we're just trying to end up with x on its own on the left-hand side of the equals. So imagine like drawing a little line down here. We want x on the left-hand side of it, on the numbers on the right-hand side. And so we've got a minus 2, and we can get rid of that by doing the opposite to taking away 2. We can add 2. Because we've done it on that side, we've also got to do it on this side as well. And so the negative 2 and positive 2 cancel each other out, and that just leaves me with x is 6 plus 2, which is 8. So that's our answer to that one. We've got a slightly more difficult one here in C, because this is what I would call a two-step equation. And it's 2 steps because we're going to have to do, in the previous ones, we've had to do just one operation, and now we've got to do 2 to get the W on its own. So I'm just going to draw a little line down here, just a little mirror line. And so I've got this plus 2 is what I want to get rid of first of all. I want to try and get that over the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take away 2 there, take away 2 there. And so plus 2 and a minus 2 cancel each other. And we're just left with 6w on this side of the equals. And then if I do 20 take away 2, I'm left with 18. So that's the first step of the equation. And then what I'm going to do is I've got 6 times w is what that means, which it's like shorthand. That, so 6w means 6 times w. It just means we don't often write the times in between. So to get rid of this 6 here, what I've got to do is the opposite to multiplying by 6, which is dividing by 6. I'm going to do the same on this side. So I've always got to do the same thing on both sides of an equation. And so if I cancel that there, I'm left with w on the left-hand side, and that's equal to 3. So that's my answer. W equals 3. So I finished that one. This next one, question 11, is a multiplication, and because we're on the non-calculated paper, as we can see here, then we've got to solve this using a non-calculator method. So there's 2 ways we can do this. One way, which is the current popular way of teaching this, is to use the grid method. So I'll do that one to show you how to do this. So we've got these 2 numbers, 74 and 58, and we're timesing them together. So we break it down so that we've got a 70 and a 4. So that gives us 2 columns there. And then For the 58, we write that as being 50 and 8. So what we're then going to do is work out, multiply each part of this together. So we're going to go, first of all, I'll do the 50 times the 70. So what I would do is, I would do the 50 times 70, I would just do the 5 times the 7 first. So 5 times 7 is 35. And then what I've got to do is, because we've got a 0 there and a 0 there, I've got to add 2 zeros on. So 50 times 70 is 3,500. So I can write that in there, 3,500. In this square here, what we're going to do is going to be 4 times the 50, so 4 times 50. And again, we do it without any zeros in to begin with, so we can just say 4 times 5, and that's 20. But then, because in the actual question 4 times 50, got a 0 there, we need to add a 0 onto what we got when we did it without any zeros. So we get 200. So that can go in there, 200. Then we're going to do 8 times 70. So give yourself plenty of space when you do these. Especially don't be frightened of doing calculations on the page. Don't think you've got to do everything in your head. So here I'm going to do 8 times 7 first. So if I do that, 8 times 7 is 56. And so 8 times 70 is the same result, but with a 0 added. So 560. That goes there. And then what we can do is we've just got 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. And then we're just going to add all these together. So there's a couple of ways I could do it, probably to make it easier. I'm going to work out these 2 columns first of all. So I'm going to do the 3,500 plus the 560. So if we do that, then we add the columns, we get 0 and 0. 0 and 6 gives me 6. 5 and 5 is 10. So write down 0, carry the 1. 3 and 1, 4,060. So that's the result of adding up this column, 4,060. And then I'm going to add the 200 and the 32. So let's just do that, 232. So we can see 0 and 2 is 2, 0 and 3 is 3. And then add the 2. So that's 232. And then finally, we just need to add these 2 numbers together, the 4,060 and the 232. And the important thing when you do these is making sure you're very neat and you're doing it in columns. So we've got the units column here, we've got the tens column, we've got the hundreds column, and the thousands column, and they're all nicely in line so we don't get mixed up. So we do the 0 and the 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 plus 3 is 9. 0 and 2 again is 2. And 4, and we've got nothing to add on to it, so that's just 4. So that's our answer. We can say that 74 times 58 is 4,292. We're on question 12 now, and this is a question about angles. And what we've got to do is find the value of x, which is in degrees because it's an angle. And we're told that AB and BC are perpendicular lines. So this is line AB, the vertical one, going from A here to B, and then BC is the other one going from B to C. And because they're perpendicular lines, what we need to know is, we need to know that perpendicular means that they're 90 degrees apart. So that would be a right angle, in other words. So it's also, we can also call it a right angle. And so we know that because this 25, the x and the 25 add up to 90, you can actually create an equation. You could say 25 plus 25 plus the x equals 90. And then if we add this 25 together, 25 plus 25 is 50. And then add the x, got that equals 90, and I'm going to treat this in the same way as I did on the equations just before. I'm going to take away 50 from both sides, and we can see that the minus 50 and the positive 50 cancel. I'm just left with the x is equal to 90 take 50 is 40. So if we're looking at question B now of part 12, question 12, then this again is angles, and we've got two parallel lines which are RS, so going from R to S, and TU. And we know that they're parallel lines because one of the ways we show that is by having this this arrow here. So we've got an arrow there and an arrow there. So that tells me that RS and TU are parallel lines. And so we're told that an angle of size 125 is shown on the diagram, so that's there. And we've got to write down the letter of one other angle that's got the same size of 125. So we could say, for example, we've got angle B is 125. And the reason is when we've got two lines like this, which we have, then the opposite angles there are equal. So we call those vertically opposite. So this angle here and this angle here are equal because they're vertically opposite. So we could say that B is equal to 125 because it's vertically opposite. So it's vertically opposite to the 125 degrees marked. If we wanted to find another one that actually was 125 as well, I mean, we've answered the question fully there anyway, but we could also see that D is also 125, so D is also 125. The reason for that is it's corresponding. So it's corresponding to the 125 degrees marked. And what that means is corresponding is when we have a situation like this, we've got a line that crosses two parallel lines. So I'm going to show the parallel here, like this, and a corresponding angle. You can imagine this angle here corresponds to this angle here. And we can see really it's corresponding because it's almost as though it's just been moved up from this position here to this position here. If we look now at part 2, explain why A plus B plus C equals 235. So we're looking at the angles A here, B and C, and we're saying if we added all them together, they'd add up to 235. And the reason for that is because in a circle, we've got 360 degrees. So we've got this situation. So we've got the A, the B, and the C, and the 125. And they must all add up to 360. So if we wanted to find what A, B, and C are, we could actually take away from 360, we could take away 125. So I'm going to just borrow from the 6 there. So that's going to be 5, and I'm going to carry on so that becomes 10. So I'm going to go 5 from 10 is 5, 2 from 5 is 3, and 1 from 3 is 2, so that's 235. So actually, our reason is angles in a circle add up to 360. And we could, again, just show this a bit better by just saying as well the 360 to complete our explanation. 360 minus 125, and so that equals 235. So I hope that's been helpful to you. If it has, please like our video and subscribe to our channel to watch more of our videos.